floor. Notice if you can face them forward without any pain. Can you find the three corners of your feet? Ball a big toe, ball a pinky toe, the kind of the center front of the heel. Feel that pressing down. Good. Not pressing your hips forward. A lot of people tend to press their hips forward. Can you allow your behind to be behind you here? Good. And then as you take your next inhale, let's interlace the fingers as placing the palms on your chest or in front of it. Okay. And then as you exhale, can you turn the palms outward and stretch forward? And if it feels okay in your back, you could tuck your chin and round your upper back. And then inhale, lifting up again. And now you're lifting through the chest, maybe even looking up a little bit. And exhale, stretching the arms forward. 2 more. Good. And then next time you bring hands to chest, just exhale, releasing the arms down. And inhale, roll the shoulders up. Exhale, take them down your back. And again. Good. And then from the back, let's go forward. And again, forward. Good. Now let's just come to neutral and inhale, roll the left shoulder back and exhale down. Good, and then the right shoulder, inhale, take it up, exhale down, and then just pause, relaxing your shoulders. Let's inhale through the nose if you can, and exhale out through pursed lips, like you're blowing out through a straw, slowly getting every last bit of air out. Again. Okay, now let's try to make that little fogging up the mirror sound on our exhale. So you inhale through the nose. And then you can try that again with mouth open, or you can try closing the mouth, but still making a little bit of the sound if it feels okay through your jaw and neck. And that's called the Ujjayi breath. You can keep going with that for a moment. And the Ujjayi, the word means victory, so victory breath. Okay, now we're gonna do some sun salutations. So just like we did last week, we're a little different. I'm gonna put the chair seat in front of us. Okay, and just stand a little bit back from it. Okay, and we'll inhale as we reach the arms up. And exhale, we're hinging forward. So let the pubic bone go back as you fold. Bend the knees whenever necessary. Taking hands to chair, let's inhale. Just get really long through the spine and take your weight so it's not in the heels, but just a little bit ahead of the heels. Yeah. And now as you exhale, let's step the right foot further underneath the chair and take the left leg back to a lunge. Okay, now without weight on the hands, right? You've got a little bit for balance, and then can you get close enough to the chair, everybody, where your knees pretty much touching the chair and knees over ankle. Good, back heel is up if that works for your body. Inhale, shoulder blades down your back. Good. Exhale, can you feel like you're shifting the right hip back a little bit? Inhale there. Exhale, let's step that back leg in just a little bit and stretch back to chair downward dog. So getting a big torso and shoulder stretch. You can bend the knees if you want to here, lifting the hips high. 2 more breaths. And 1 more breath. And then inhale, bending your knees and looking between the legs of your chair. And now exhale, let's try to step the left foot underneath the chair. You might need more than 1 step. And then back the right leg up if you can. And getting your knee almost like it's touching the chair if you can. No weight on the hands. So a lot of people tend to put a lot of pressure on their hands and their wrists start to hurt and their shoulders hurt. So try to take weight off your shoulders if you can. Moving shoulder blades down your back as you breathe. So it's coming into here. Good, you guys. Inhaling and exhaling. Now let's try the stepping forward a little different. So what we're gonna do is it's like you're pressing off. See how I'm kind of swaying my weight forward and back. I might, if my knee is touching the chair a lot, I might need to just kind of scoot it back a little bit away for this part. Good. And then on an exhale, let's begin our exhale, blow before you go. So begin the exhale and then step that back leg forward. Now you might lift it, or you might just step it right next to the other one, okay? And then inhale, let's reach this spine to its full length forward. Good. And as you exhale, let's bend the knees and sit back into the heels, yeah, like a chair. Good. And then maybe you can let go of the chair as you press into the heels and reach the arms up toward the ceiling. And exhale, arms out to the sides and down. Good. Again, inhaling, arms up. Exhale, hinging at the hips so your pubic bone moves back as you fold. Good. Let's practice taking the weight just towards the front of the heels a little bit, getting the full length of the spine. You can bend the knees to help you do that too. Good. Keep breathing, and on your exhale, let's get the left foot all the way under. You might scoot a little closer and take the right leg back to a lunge. And then readjust so not too much weight on the arms. Inhale, if it feels okay, take your left hand to your hip. Good. And exhale, can you scoot that hip back and maybe even turn your chest toward the left? And you might glance over to the left or even over the left shoulder if it doesn't bother the neck. Good. Inhale, stay here. And as you exhale, let's turn back around, hands to chair. Inhale, let's step that back leg in just a little bit. And then exhale, go back to your downward dog. Good. Bending the knees, lifting the hips high. Inhale and exhale. And then inhale, bending the knees more, looking between the legs of your chair. And exhale, begin the exhale first, then move, stepping the right leg forward and get it underneath the chair. And then inhale, backing that left leg up if you can. Exhale, weight off the hands a little bit, shoulder blades down your back. And then inhale, can you take your right hand to your right hip and scoot that right hip back a bit? And then exhale, perhaps twisting to the left, to right, excuse me. Good, inhaling. Let's stay here, exhale. Inhale again. And as you exhale, gently untwisting. Good. Inhale, you might back your foot away from the chair just a little bit. And then exhale, begin it first. So blow before you go and step that back leg. You might want to lift it on the way and then step it next to the other foot. Good. Inhale, getting the full length of your spine, reaching forward. And then exhale, bending the knees like you're sitting in a chair. And then inhale, press down into those heels as you reach the arms up. And exhale, arms out to the sides and down. Nice. Let's just inhale, step the feet wide, not super wide, just about shoulders width. Good. My feet are just facing forward. And I'm going to exhale, begin the side bends. So just going back and forth, sliding your hand down your leg, noticing how this feels. And in this one, we're pushing the hip out to the side like we did in triangle pose last week, but we're letting those ribs round. We did this one last week too. Good. And then just coming up to the center. And you can walk your feet a little closer together. Okay, we're going to step the feet again wide and wider, like you would set up for a warrior two pose. Okay, and then just like we did, like we've been doing last week and other weeks, we're going to open up the left foot and the knee. You could always have a chair back in front of you so that for balance here, okay? And now let's kick the right heel back a bit. So I'm just mirroring you here, yeah. Okay, and we'll notice the knee. If it tends to be falling in toward the big toe, does it feel okay to open it up more, or do you need to close the foot in order to line the knee up with the center of the foot? And now does it feel okay on your back to turn your belly button away from the knee so it's not toward it in warrior two? Yeah. And then let's inhale, straighten the leg. Good. And exhale, bend it. Good. So belly button stays away from the knee as you bend. It doesn't turn. That would be warrior one, this way. We're going to the side. And now if that bothers the back, then of course do what you need to, okay? Now the next time you bend the knee, I'm going to try to hold it. Now you could hold it and bring the arms out to warrior two. Or you could see if when you place your forearm on your thigh, if you can, and I might need to back up my back foot to do this, do I have somewhat of a straight line, a diagonally straight line from the outer pinky toe edge all the way up my head, right? I could even reach my arm up if I wanted. Or in some people's bodies, they might end up being like this. And do you see how this is kind of rounded? Maybe it doesn't feel great on my back. So if that's the case, instead of putting the forearm down, you could just put the hand on the thigh gently and hold yourself a little more upright. Okay. You can reach the arm along your ear if you want in either position. Good. And you can always straighten the leg. You've been there a while. Okay. Let's try one more breath. Side angle pose. Good. And when you're ready to come out, let's press into that front heel and rise. Good. And now let's close that foot and open up the other foot. Kicking the heel back. Same thing, just coming in and out a few times. Noticing where your knee is, how your knee feels. Breathing. How wide you want to go, side to side. And then does it feel okay to keep your belly button to the side? Good. Okay, now you can test out this side. Does it feel better? Just kind of a little bit of a lean here, or do you want to do a deeper lean? And the arm can stay down or on the hip, or it can reach along the ear. Yeah, good. Let's take a few breaths here. Can always come out early, of course. This happens to be one of my favorite yoga poses. And when you're ready to come out, press down through this front heel to use the strength of your legs. And I didn't mention it, but we still want to practice that blow before you go, right? So it's like you begin the exhale and then you move. Okay, moving those feet in. And that just creates, it allows your pelvic floor and your abdominals to get more trained to support you when you do that. Okay, let's widen the feet. Just a little swing and twist here. Maybe take a couple sighs. Good. For 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Coming back to the center, let's stand in front of our chairs again. We're going to try, and you don't have to try both ways, but we're just going to be coming into and out of a forward fold. And depending on your back, one method might feel better than the other. And you also might already know that one method feels better than the other. So if you already know that one of these methods bothers you, doesn't work for you, you don't have to do it. Of course, as with everything that we do, okay? Thirsty, okay. So the two ways are going to be keeping the back extended, and just watch me for a second, okay? So the first way is the way we often do. And, we're just like, inhale, standing tall. I'm going to keep my hands on my hips as I do this. I'm going to let my pubic bone go back, bending knees whenever the pubic bone stops going back. So for example, say when I get to here, my legs are too tight, so my pubic bone actually ends up going forward and I round to the chair, right? Instead, I would bend my knees. So pubic bone goes back. When it stops going back, I'm going to bend the knees a little further until I can reach the chair. And then I would come up the same way, right? Like we normally do. Maybe bend the knees a little more and rise. So it's just practicing strengthening the legs, supporting the low back. For some people that have, especially if you have any fractures in your thoracic spine and osteoporosis in your thoracic spine specifically, rounding with weight, like you'd never want to lift something like this, right? Like a heavy thing off the ground, because that would put a little pressure there. And if you have weak vertebrae, it's an area that gets fractures. I'm not trying to scare you at all. It's not bad to round. It's just not a good idea to lift when you're rounding, right? So being able to round and arch is something that your spine wants to be able to do too. So the second one we'll try is tucking the chin. And I can still bend my knees anytime I want to for support. And rounding down, you could go down further. You don't have to stop at the chair. And then still pressing into the heels, tailbone lengthens down and rounding up. Okay. So we'll try both. You can skip one if you know it's not good for your particular body. Okay. Here we go. Let's try pubic bone back one first, okay? So this one tends to be fine for people's bodies in general, but who knows? Everybody's different. So inhale, stand tall, enough talking. Exhale, pubic bone back, and put a little bend in your knees. Just keep thinking. You can even put your hands there to feel pubic bone goes back. Hands can go to chair. Good. Inhale. Now as we exhale, begin your exhale first. A little more bend in the knees, press down through the heels, and see if you can keep this extension of the spine in neutral as you rise. Good, okay, notice how that one felt. Now we'll try the rounding one. If you already know that one doesn't work for you, you don't have to do it. Of course, you can repeat the last one, okay? So if you're trying it with me, inhale, stand tall, and then exhale, I'm gonna tuck the chin, and imagine you're rolling down vertebrae by vertebrae, just letting the arms hang. You can bend the knees at any time. Take the hands to the chair, let them slide down the legs or to the floor. Inhale. And then as you exhale, press into the feet again, bend the knees for some support, and see about rounding, rolling up. Okay, now just pick which one felt better in your body. Or if they both felt fine, you could just pick one to do it again. Okay, so pick whichever one you want. And inhale, stand tall. And as you exhale, go for it. And then inhale, pause. Begin your exhale. Bend knees in either position. And come up. Good. And then just pause. Nice. Inhale, roll the shoulders up. Exhale, take them down your back. All right.